Something I struggle with a lot, and I feel like recently a lot of people have been struggling with this. But I have been struggling with it for quite some time, is having an immense amount of nostalgia. And it's no secret why it's becoming more common nowadays. It's because everything sucks. And everything that's made now is just really shitty. And there's so much stuff in the past that most people have not even gotten to, and it's way better than what's being offered up today. So a lot of people are just kind of going back and looking at either things from their childhood or things they missed out on and engaging with that instead of like the newest season of like Stranger Things or whatever. But it's a lot deeper than that, I feel, because I've noticed a lot of people are now starting to play old video games and think about old aesthetics. For instance, like how everything used to be, like all the technology used to be like transparent, like the transparent Game Boys, or like the old Macs that were really bulbous, but they were like, you could see through them. That was really big in the 2000s. A lot of people have like crazy theories of like why that's not a thing anymore. But I think it's just like a design decision. There is something strange about how things nowadays are technically better made, but there's no soul in them. I was telling this to my friend the other day when we went to this old house that her brother was fixing up because he had like inherited this property from his grandma, and she passed away and she gave it to him. So he was like, can you guys come and help me clean this thing out so I can sell it? So we said, sure. And we were looking at all the stuff that we were taking out of the house, and the house probably had its peak in the 70s. It was probably built in the 70s, like a family lived there in the 70s. And then every year after, like maybe every decade after that, it just fell into disrepair. And it was just a really rundown house, but it was really big and like full of junk. Not to the point where like the person was a hoarder or anything. It's just that like over time there was a lot of accumulated stuff. But anyway, the point of what I'm saying is there's a lot of things from the past in there. And I noticed one thing. These things from the past are more well made. Like everything now is very cheap plastic shit. And there was plastic shit back then, but like there was more like, this is made out of wood, or this is made out of metal. This was like made in a factory in Detroit or whatever, you know, like there was a lot of things that looked like a lot of thought went into making them. It wasn't made in a computer. Like someone drafted this on like paper and like programmed a big ass factory machine to like make this thing. And there were like little signs in there that were, you know, like these handmade signs, and you could see that they were made out of wood. Like someone painted this sign by hand. It looked beautiful. There were so many like hand painted like pastoral like pictures of like, you know, like little girls from like the 20s like playing with butterflies in like a Sunday kind of dress and like a big bonnet and like that kind of stuff that old people liked to collect for some reason. And like there were like religious artifacts and just all kinds of stuff, like religious artifact. I like to say that like those religious like little angels, like porcelain angels, or like ones made out of wood, are like Funko Pops for the boomers. But anyway, like everything back then was made with care, and I noticed like I saw this this Christmas decoration. It was like these reindeer with Santa on the sleigh, and it was made out of plastic. It was something you would put in your front yard. And I was just thinking, man, this thing looks like shit. This thing looks terrible, but like it looks sturdier than whatever's being made now. It looks like it lasted for years and years. Like this thing was probably from the 80s and it still looks fine. Like you could put it up like now, but the design of the reindeer, the way the paint was like put on there in the factory, like it just looks not good. The Santa looked fucked up. He looked chopped as hell. But like things made today are made to look good. Like they look very good. They look on design. Like for instance, like Mario plushies back then looked like, I don't know, they did not look like Mario as we know him. They kind of look like Mario 64, like how chopped he looks in that game. That's how the plushie looked. And it wasn't accurate to the game. It just looked bad. But like if you look at any of Nintendo's like stuffed animals today, they're very like on the character design. Like it's like the eyes are the right shape they should be. The head looks like properly shaped. And there's a lot. There's like, I like to say that when I was little, I noticed that there were not many video game merchandise around for some reason. It was not a big thing like in the late 90s, early 2000s to find merch. I mean, aside from like Pokemon or like stuff like that, Yu-Gi-Oh, like video game merch was not very common. Like, but like now you go to like a toy aisle and all you see is like Fortnite stuff and, you know, Funko Pops from like your favorite game, even niche games. Like the industry blew up and it was not cool. It was not cool to be a gamer back then. Like now it's like totally normal. I even went to like Walmart this very morning. I went to Walmart this very morning and I heard two normie ass employees. They're like approaching 40. They looked just two normal people. Just like, hi, I'm normal. That kind of person. And they were talking about like arc raiders and like how they made their character and like, oh, my ass got blasted. And the like 10 years ago, like you could not conceive of like normal ass normies like playing games like this. Like everyone's playing COD, everyone's playing maybe PUBG, but not really. Like everyone was really just playing COD and maybe NBA. Like that's what the normies were playing. And I feel like there's this big consumerism now that found like it's almost like the gaming space was like this untapped mine and like capitalism just came in and like we're gonna fucking drill down into this new source of like milking people out of their money. But anyway, like back to like nostalgia and stuff. I love, there's one thing I really love, and that's like liminal spaces, but not liminal in the sense that like, oh, this is creepy. More liminal in the sense that like, let me give you an example. There is a store called Dillard's at the mall near me. And I'm sure like if you have a mall near you, there's a good chance like maybe there's a Dillard's there. But this Dillard's has not been renovated since like the 90s. Since like the early 90s, I would say. Because you go there and it feels like you stepped through time. It feels like you went into a time machine and it's like, oh, I'm back in the 90s Dillard's. But like everything on the shelves is like modern. But the carpets are like a dirty ass green. The way the tile is shaped is like very 90s design, very 90s coded. The shelves are wooden. But you could tell like they're starting to come into like the modern era because there's like glass displays too, like glass shelves with like metal, like very geometrical, like metal frames. But like everything on the shelves is like new. Like it's stuff from 2026. It's just it's housed in a weird like 90s space. So I love and my friends think I'm weird for this, but every time we go to the mall, I'm like, hey, let's go to the second floor of this Dillard's because I get this overwhelming feeling of like it's not even like returning to being a kid. It's just like I'm being taken to a place where where maybe like this is where humanity peaked. Like I always say, like Matrix being set in 1999 is so perfect because if a AI system were to take over the human race like today and trap our minds in like pods and plug us into like a virtual reality, they would make it in the 90s. Because to me, I mean, maybe if you lived in the 90s and you didn't have a good time, like maybe you would disagree. But like to me, every time I look back in the 90s, it's just like this is so perfect. And I'm sure some people feel this way about the 80s. But the thing about the 90s is that it had a little bit of everything. It had like it had video games, good video games, 3D video games. It had good shows. It had everything from the past decades. There was cable. There was, I think maybe there was satellite. I'm not sure. But there were cell phones. Cell phones were starting to be common. I mean, they wouldn't really become common until the next decade, but like you could have one if you wanted one. And also there was just this like sense of like it was almost like the 50s, or like I guess that's how boomers see the 50s, like, oh, everything was so perfect, like it was just like family life, like everything was calm, nothing was going on. I mean, that like they look back at the 50s like they didn't just get out of World War II and like our economy was booming because of that, but like in the 90s it was the same thing. Like everyone, like things were so good. People love to bring this up. Things were so good that they were making movies about how working in an office and having a stable job fucking sucks. They were like Office Space. The Matrix is like, it starts off that way. Like Anderson, Neo, he has an office job that he fucking hates. But and there like that was just a theme, like Fight Club, like that, like office jobs suck. Like working for a boss and making a lot of money suck ass. And it's like, dude, like you have no idea what's coming for you in like 20 years because people would be begging. People are begging. They're like selling their soul for like a shitty office job. Like I would love to live in a cubicle. Maybe not me, but like I feel like most people would be like, do you want to work at Taco Bell or do you want to work in a cubicle? Because I know so many people nowadays that have degrees and they're working shitty ass jobs because they don't have a choice. They're like, and I'll get into this in maybe my next video. But anyway, like I have heavy nostalgia for the 90s, and it could just be because that's when I was the smallest. And every time I look back, I was like cared for, and I had so many good memories with like my friends and like watching Power Rangers, and just like and not just that, but like back then things were made for children. It feels like now there's like nothing made for children. There were kids websites that like go to like pbs.com, go to this other website, and ask your parents' permission. And these websites were made by people like, I don't know, like cereal companies were making like little games on their websites to like, yeah, it was marketing towards children and all that. But it's like, I'm going to buy cereal anyway. I don't see what's so bad about like cereal being marketed to me, a child in the 90s. Like, they had awesome commercials too. Like I was talking back then or in the last video that commercials back then had a lot more like effort placed into them to be like eye-catching, like especially in the 90s, because they were using like crazy like camera angles. They were using like dolly zooms, Dutch angles, fisheye lenses, saturated colors, crazy early CGI effects. But yeah, I mean, like everything in the 90s was very, there was like an insane amount of capitalism, but like it's nothing like it is now. Like now it's very like there's no character to it. Like there's no kids websites. Everything's like an app. Everything wants you to sign up for this and that. And back then there was none of that. It was like you pay for something and you get it. And there's no like extra like hoops to jump through afterwards. You don't gotta sign on to, you don't have to give your email to everyone who like fucking, you're buying like a pencil and you gotta unlock the pencil with your email. Like that shit is not a thing in the 90s. And to me, that's a really good thing. But things are more well made now. And I really do have to say, I have to give both sides to the argument. Things are well made now, but I would also say that people are noticing that that's not always true, because I don't like this term because it's getting thrown around a lot, but shitification is what's going on. Like things are just getting shittier because, for example, like Windows was good for a really long time and you didn't have a choice. Like it was just good. Like it was the operating system of every computer that you could, like maybe you're cool and you got Linux on your computer or Ubuntu, but for the most part, everyone has Windows. They have a straight up monopoly on operating systems. So I think one day they just realized like, hey, we can, with now that the internet's faster, we can start like, collecting data on every single person who uses a computer in the world. And now like all of that just makes your computer slow as fuck. Like there's just so much like bloat on your computer just from like them trying to like harvest your data and make like a little weird psychological profile out of you just to like, so they can throw ads at you. And you can turn that shit off, but like that doesn't make all of that disappear from your computer. Like you really have to go in there and like pull it out, like pulling out weeds in your yard. And most people aren't going to do that. Like no one has the time. Like most people are working. Not everyone's fucking unemployed to like be taking all day to remove like bloatware from their computer. And most people just accept that and just say like, oh yeah, things are shitty now. So I think what's probably going to happen is that, well, what I should say, what I wish would happen is everyone just like start hanging out with people in person. You know, it's not COVID anymore. I think everyone should just go, and if you have any friends, go hang out with your friends. Make it a point to hang out like every Friday or every Saturday. Like that's what I do. I hang out with my friends. We go out, we go to like raves, and we have like a little party afterwards for all the cool people. I mean, I like to say that like I'm fucking cool, but like we're it's just a friend group thing. Like we're just having a little party. And I think most people should do that. I think a lot of people would benefit from just having like a normal, like, okay, what if I don't have any friends? Well, you know, go to like your local music scene and just stand on the wall until someone comes up to you and says, hi, my name is, and you say, hi, my name is. And you also gotta say, you know, hey, what are you up to? Hey, do you want to hang out? Like not instantly, obviously, but like establish like some kind of relationship with like your new friend. And I think if more people put themselves out there, stopped being afraid of like, it's not just like fear. It's also like convenience. I have a video about how convenient things are getting and how that's like destroying our entire community and like civilization. But the gist of it is like everything now is so convenient. Like you don't have to leave your house. You could work from home. You could use that money to buy your groceries and have it delivered to your house. You could get on a dating app and just like establish a connection there and have that person come to your house. Like you never have to leave your house. You like if you wanted to, it's entirely possible to stay in your house and never leave. But that sucks. Like who wants to live? Like that's like being in jail. Like you're not seeing the world. And for some people, it's like, oh, well, I'm okay with that. Like, I have issues. I have autism. I have autism too, man. Like, they literally had to drag me out of my house to, like, go out with them multiple times. My friends had to beg me, like, come out, please, please. Like, it would be good for you. And I said, no, I'm not going out. And I finally did a few times. And I was like, okay, like, I hate this, but I'm going to keep doing it. And then I kept doing it and I got used to it and my psyche was able to absorb like all the energy that going downtown exposes you to, like, and my fight or flight sense, you know, like went away and I became familiar with the environment. And now I love going out because I'm comfortable going out. And I think anybody can find a way to go out. Like even, let's say you don't even like the idea of downtown, which is perfectly valid. The music's too loud. The beer is too expensive. I don't even drink when I go out. I have an excuse. I'm like, I'm a designated driver. But really, I just don't want to be paying for all that shit. And so there's art communities too. Like I'm sure there's like, in your area, unless you live in the middle of nowhere, like you could join an art community or start going to like little markets and, you know, start mingling with the artists selling stuff there, maybe buy their little $5 bullshit or whatever. And, you know, like, hey, can I add you on Instagram? And, you know, and like you start hanging out with people, you know. So it's fine to have nostalgia. It's fine to, you know, go to nostalgia world, as I like to call it. And it's totally fine. But, you know, you should live in the present. You should look toward the future because we are the ones building the future. We are the ones who decide whether it's going to look good or not. It's not the government. It's not whatever war is going on, because I'm going to tell you something. My life has never been better. It's never been better. And I feel shitty saying this. I feel shitty that my life is so good right now socially because of all the bad things going on in the world, especially with Gaza, especially with like who our president is. And, you know, like just the way civilization is being eroded by capitalism. But on the personal level, I am doing really well and my friends are doing really well. And, you know, yeah, we're struggling with money and we're trying to hang out like on the cheap, you know, and not spend too much. But it's just, I just want you to know that it's possible. I don't want you to blame outside forces for things under your control. You can make your own little life like fun. But yeah, visiting Nostalgia World, it's probably not good because I would say that, you know, it's probably nostalgia is linked to depression. A lot of people like to quote Mad Men because there is a episode where he is trying to sell, Don Draper is trying to sell this like, or he's pitching the Kodiak carousel, which was a device, a circular little device that had a projector on it, and you could put these little slides in there of your photos, undeveloped photos, and it would it would project those onto your wall so you could see This was in the 60s, so this is insane. This is insane technology. You could project your photos onto the wall and just like look at them, like huge. Like, I mean, it's projected, so it could be as big as you wanted. And during that presentation, he says, nostalgia, it's Greek for pain from an old wound. And I looked that up, and that shit's not true. That's not like what nostalgia is really means, but it feels true because it feel like it hurts. Like nostalgia hurts. Like looking back, ow. You know, like I'm here, I'm not back there, which is also what depression is, you know? All depression is like, oh, I'm here in the present, but I keep looking back towards my regrets or like how fun things used to be, and they're not fun anymore. But I'm here to tell you things can be fun again. Like it's your decision. You can make all the excuses in the world to not have a fun life or have a social life. But at the end of the day, they are excuses. I'm sorry to tell you, like, you're probably going to go in the comments and tell, well, I have this, like, well, you could. There's people missing limbs. There's people living in bubbles, and they find a way to have a social life. So what's your excuse? Oh, I have like, save it. I don't want to hear it. I'm dying. Oh, well, okay. Maybe you shouldn't be like out if you're literally dying. But aside from that, go out and have fun. Make friends. Don't live in a nostalgia world. But if you do want to live in a nostalgia world, I do have some good websites for you. Well, one specifically. I'm gatekeeping the other one, but if you go on, there's this guy named Evan Collins on this website called Arena. It's called Arena, but like there's a dot in there somewhere that makes it. It's like Are.na. Okay, so there's this user called Evan Collins, and he like catalogs all these aesthetics. So if you have seen people talking about like aesthetics, like Y2K and like Frutiger Arrow and Global Village Coffee House, this guy is the one who like basically he's cataloging all this stuff from like the past. He's getting it from like magazines, he's getting it from photos, and he's like making little categories for you to see them. So if you do want to take a little visit to like the past, you should check out Evan Collins' Arena page, and I will link it in the description, and you know, maybe support him, maybe throw him a few dollars, because he is doing good, like very interesting work, and he is making a whole new category of slop for us to talk about. And nostalgia for us to have. Like there are these like aesthetic movements back then that I was not even aware of. Like there's a lot from like the 80s that I didn't notice, but like for example, there's a aesthetic called soft countryana, and I did not notice this. But it was very prevalent. It was very fucking prevalent in the 80s. Like if you watch an 80s movie and you look at what they have in their house, there's a good chance that it's like soft countryana aesthetic. So if you want to like expand like your awareness of like, they're not fashion trends, they're more like design trends. They're like technically they're consumer aesthetic trends. Yeah, check it out. If you want to like make your house look like it was from the 80s or like the 90s, like, whoa, dude, like you have like a really good reference to like design your house on those design. Well, you get what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, that's all I wanted to talk about today, like how nostalgia is very comforting. I love it. I love nostalgia. I could indulge in it all day, but I know it's bad. I I like, but it's also, it is bad. It is very bad. Please don't like be in there all day, or you get severely depressed, because that has happened to what I used to do. And maybe this is a little, maybe I am sharing too much, but I still do from time to time. I love to listen to like 90s. It's like slacker rock. So it's rock that's very like hazy. It's almost like dream pop, but it's just very like this hazy ass rock. And it just feels like it takes you back to like being in the 90s and being a slacker and like, oh, like there's nothing to do. I'm so bored. Like that's kind of like the energy of the music, but it just feels so like, it just takes you back to that time and place. So I'll listen to that and I'll go on like Evan Collins's page and I'll just be like flipping through like all the 90s stuff and just like, man, I want this to come back in some way. Maybe it will. Maybe I gotta be the change I wish to see in the world, because right now I'm not really feeling the new metal coming back. Like can I just briefly talk about that? New metal was cool when I was little, right? I was the right age. I was in middle school. I was listening to like Linkin Park and like Limp Bizkit and System of a Down and, you know, all those bands. But once I got into high school, I was like, okay, this is not it. This is like for kids. This music, if you like, and I would see like older people still listening to this music, and I thought it was cringe as hell. I was just like, dude, why are you still listening to like Puddle of Mud in the year of our Lord 2009? Like, this is not it anymore. We're listening to Vampire Weekend. We're listening to Two Door Cinema Club. We're listening to indie. We're listening to indie rock now. Please stop with the new metal. So I thought everyone, like, we all just agreed, like, yeah, fuck new metal. It's never coming back. We're done. It did not influence. Rock died there. Rock died, might I add, at where the new metal got popular. Everyone just collectively was like, enough of that. Enough of that. We're done with rock. So be me. To my surprise, in 2022, I start hanging out with Gen Z friends, and I just see like them all talking about how much they love fucking Deftones. I mean, Deftones is not new metal, but like they love 3 Days Grace and, you know, all that shitty post grunge stuff like Stained, and, you know, like oh, I love new metal. I love Korn. I was shocked, to say the least. It's like if you had told me, oh, I'm listening to like 80s rock. I'm listening to Motley Crue. All of my friends are listening to Motley Crue and Whitesnake. That's how I felt. I was like, excuse me? But after a while, I was just like, okay, like I remember these old songs. I listened to Mudvayne, you know. I listened to Disturbed. Okay, Disturbed maybe is not. Yeah, I would say it's like, you could say it's new metal. But I was listening to Slipknot. You know, I kind of dusted off the old MP3s and was like, okay, we're listening to new metal now. And then they started wearing the baggy jeans, and suddenly my not skinny jeans, but like my thin ass jeans, like my straight leg jeans were like lame as hell. So I bit the bullet and I bought some baggy jeans, and now I'm cool. And now like tribal is back, but they're not calling it tribal. They're calling it cybersigillism, and it's exactly like tribal, but it's like thinner. It's like Spider-Man and Ultimate Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man is tribal, and Ultimate Spider-Man, the skinny ass one, is like the cybersigillism. But anyway, I'm going off topic, but kind of staying on topic, because I like, you know, like the kids are listening to Creed, which is a form of nostalgia that I disagree with. I'm like, go back a little further, go back to the 90s. Where I am, where my nostalgia lives. But like their nostalgia is like, oh, the 2000s. I love the 2000s, you know? And yeah, I I think I'm just going to leave it at that because I could go all day about this. Anyway, if you made it to the end, I'm sorry. I got to apologize for this one. This one's crazy because it really is just me like going off on like tangents. But I hope that it was somewhat cohesive. Anyway, thanks for listening if you made it to the end. And I'll probably have a new one soon. Bye.